Everybody, before getting into this video, I just kind of wanted to clarify what this video is exactly about. So this is a community project that I'm doing where I'm trying to build a connection between academic writing and a chosen community. So we were asked to pick a community that we were really devoted to and to sort of create a project and a product for that community. At the beginning of this project, we were asked, how could your community be improved through writing? And I had a clear community that stood out to me, and we're going to get into that in a second. We were asked by considering where we would see a need in our community and what we think would help move the community forward. So that is kind of what this video is about, and now we can jump right into it. Hi everyone, my name is Jackson Shorten, and I'm currently a senior in high school. As I look back on the many communities that have impacted my life, there's one community that really stands out, and that is actually the distance running community. I've been heavily immersed in the distance running community for 6 years, and now I could not imagine myself without it. Running is essentially my entire life. I've had many significant takeaways through my experience in the running community, how the dedication it takes to train at a high level, for example, getting up at 4 a.m. to run, running 65 to 100 miles per week, running every single day no matter what. Pushing in a race when your body is screaming internally can translate to other aspects of life, such as in the workplace and maintaining a prosperous lifestyle. How working together and being engaged with others in the sport can help improve connections and social ability. How running takes a unique desire to continually push your body in limits, which will help those push through other obstacles you may encounter in life. And how comfort zones may be expanded when you continually challenge yourself. Also, how people gain a sense of fulfillment when they see their growth and their transformation throughout the sport. So when I officially began running cross country in 6th grade, I did it because it seemed like something I would excel in, and my parents are the ones that introduced me into it. I went to the first day of practice completely unknowledgeable of the complexity of the sport. However, after years of experience in the sport, I have begun to realize how impactful this sport truly is on all aspects of life. When people who are ignorant to the lifestyle or people who are beginners think about the sport, it seems that they often question why runners do the things that they do. Like, why would someone put themselves through so much suffering? To those looking in on this community, it seems commonplace to think that running is primarily a physical effort, which is usually a standard stem of fear surrounding the topic. However, this idea is entirely false. The physical pain of the legs and the burning sensation of the lungs is a very remote part of the experience. One of my favorite quotes from Joanne Benoit states, "Running is 80% mental." And I cannot agree any more with this statement. As much as dedicated runners are in physical agony, it is up to the mind whether they keep pushing or not. It is much more of a mental challenge than a physical one. The longer that I have been a part of this community and met longtime followers of the sport, I've realized that the lessons learned through each experience can translate to everyday life. For instance, when work is challenging, when you face obstacles, when life gets overwhelming and it seems easy to give up, the same mentality can be used here. In an article I found called 5 Ways Running Teaches Patience, Kelly Roberts explains the 5 key impacts of running and what it teaches. Impatience has real consequences, a better work ethic, to be mindful and grateful, to work hard over any shortcuts, and to say goodbye to excuses and hello to accountability. Running shows how distrust in the process and moving too quickly through different aspects in life can come back to hurt in the end. Running builds a good work ethic and displays how hard work can have benefits in the long run. Running also teaches people how to be grateful when things don't exactly happen the way you may have hoped. All these experiences and lessons may be why distance runners are often really successful individuals. They have the mental tenacity to do things that are sometimes uncomfortable for the desired result, and they're willing to be grateful when things don't exactly go to plan. Like many devoted runners, I have pushed my body to its breaking point time and time again. When the pain of redlining your aerobic engine and the excruciating buildup of lactic acid sifts through your legs, it is about running with your heart and conquering the mind. The sport teaches you how to push through those challenging moments. Nothing is more painful for me than finishing a race knowing that I could have pushed harder and gotten a better result. This personal sense of fulfillment is one of the main takeaways from the sport. Nothing is more significant than that feeling, the feeling of knowing that you gave it your best. You tried your best. During the moment, it is challenging to continue suffering, but this is all done for a greater purpose. The misery of voluntarily putting yourself through these experiences and coming out on top is a true testament of the human spirit. One of my favorite athletes and the most legendary marathon runner of all time, Elliot Kipchoge, is a walking example of this mentality. This man has shattered, and I mean shattered, barriers that were thought to be impossible. He's the only human being to run a marathon under 2 hours. He is a 2-time Olympic marathon champion, and he is the world record holder in the marathon. Throughout his career, he has titled many meaningful quotes such as, "Only the disciplined ones in life are free. If you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and your passions." And another quote, "If you believe in something and put it in your mind and heart, it can be realized." His behaviors and approach to life relate to distance running in every aspect of human life. His performances and accomplishments have deeply touched billions of people, a large number who aren't even runners. Any goal that someone may have takes work and sacrifice. For example, many students struggle with school and pushing through discouraging and challenging work. But once they push through the discomfort, the result is almost always worth it. And it'd be good grades in this instance with the school example. Nevertheless, those who participate in a mentally rigorous sport can generally push through those challenges more efficiently than others who do not have that experience. While running equips society with the appropriate skills to tackle life's everyday obstacles, running is also about a way to connect and build significant relationships with the community. Throughout my experiences with distance running, I've gotten to travel places that I usually would have not gotten to travel to. And I've experienced many different environments. For example, the 90-degree heat of running in Arizona to running in 10 degrees and snowing in Wisconsin. I have been able to meet so many people that I would not have met, and I've gotten to socialize for miles and miles and hours with numerous people. I have established some of my closest relationships with people I've gone on runs with who share that unique interest. The distance running community is one of the most tight-knit communities I have witnessed. We are a group of individuals pushing our limits, suffering, and enjoying life together. Before I established my place in the distance running community, I was a different person than I am today. I've always been a shy kid, and my distance running experiences have sort of helped me branch out. Strengthening relationships through general conversation, talking to interviewers, talking to college recruiters, and meeting different people at races have helped my confidence and social abilities. Without being a part of the distance running community, it is unknown whether I would have had these same opportunities. Distance running brings people together and establishes a family-like connection. Many of the best cross-country teams in the United States are good because the team members have established deep connections with each other through the time they have spent working out and running together. It seems that usually when people are on the outside looking into the distance running community, they only see the physical pain and the strain that the runners put themselves through. They often fail to acknowledge everything circulating these athletes' lifestyles. Although I've had lots of personal experience in the sport, I have most recently been able to talk to our assistant coach, Adrian McDonald. He recently won the Leadville 100-mile run, and I've had the honor to spend lots of time with him on runs and at practice. Recently, I learned more about his mentality when it comes to the sport. When talking about his mentality entering the Leadville 100, he stated, "The biggest mental barrier leading up to Leadville was obviously the race distance. I try not to focus on that as thinking about running 100 miles in a day. That's quite overwhelming. I told myself, and the people who ask why I would do such a silly thing, that I was just going to go out and run all day. I've done other things all day, like hiking or driving, so why not running?" Adrian completed something that would even turn the stomachs of very experienced running community members. There's no doubt that it takes an incredible amount of mental strength to attempt a feat such as a daunting 100-mile race. And after completing something like that, it seems that you could conquer any obstacle that may arise. Like, what could be harder than winning a 100-mile race? Even preparing for an event like that takes incredible determination and mental strength. Before attempting such a feat, Adrian had undergone lots of mental preparation and all scenarios of what could happen crossed his mind. Diving deeper into his mentality, he explains, "During the race, I had some stomach issues and had to stop a bunch of times from miles 15 to 30. This was very frustrating and always my worst nightmare going into a big race. Instead of letting it get me down and focusing on the thing that was going poorly, I tried to focus on all of the other things that were going well. My legs and breathing were feeling good. My ankle that I had twisted a few weeks prior was feeling good. I was running fast when I wasn't stopped. The weather and scenery was beautiful, and I had my friends and family there supporting me." Even through the challenging moments, he could focus on the things that were going right, and this is how he kept going. And this idea is yet another vital lesson to the people of the distance running community. When things are not going how you have hoped, it is necessary to focus on the things you can control and the things working out. When dealing with the struggles in everyday life, this mentality will be crucial in moving forward. Again, this idea proves that the mental takeaways from distance running have an incredible impact on a prosperous lifestyle. I also talked about the translation of mentality from distance running to everyday aspects of life with Adrian. He explained, "The first type of thinking can translate into everyday life whenever you have a big challenge that you have to face that might be overwhelming, like a big school or work project. You can try to frame it in a way that simplifies it and allows you to just chip away at it. Distance running presents a different perspective of life for those who participate in these extreme efforts. The same calculations for training and racing can relate to several important aspects of everyday life. Big problems and tasks can be minimized by taking one step at a time, just like Adrian took 1 mile at a time in his 100-mile effort. Even when you may deal with struggles of negative occurrences in your life, running teaches you to look at the positives." Adrian explains, "The type of positive thinking I used in my second story can be used whenever you are struggling in school, work, family, or a relationship. You can focus about all the good things that are going on in your life and the other successes you've had to either get over the struggle or to find a way to solve it." Distance running prepares those who participate in the sport with fundamental problem-solving skills and determination. There are times in life when things do not work out and how they were intended to, and it is how you respond to those challenges that matter. Many of the greatest distance runners in the world have gone through struggles and come back stronger the next time. For example, arguably the greatest distance runner of all time, Kenenisa Bekele, a man who has run 12:37.35 for 5,000 meters and 26:17.35 for 10,000 meters, has struggled with many challenges over his career. Most recently, he has transitioned to marathon running and has only run 14 marathons in his career, and he has not finished 5 of those races due to injury. Despite all of those devastating experiences, he continues to train at a high level every day, and in 2019 he won the Berlin Marathon in the second fastest time ever, 2 hours 1 minute and 41 seconds for a marathon. I imagine that I will be a part of the running community for a significant portion of my life. Through the 6 years that I've been immersed in the beautiful community, I have learned many lessons, and I have adopted a mentality that will help me as I journey further into life. I hope to express to those interested in the community or on the outside how much more encompasses this sport than just the buildup of lactic acid in the legs and the burning sensation of the lungs. To be successful in athletics in all aspects of life, it is crucial to have a strong mind and determination. When faced with problems in society, distance runners can step up and move forward. I wonder what it would be like if everyone adopted the mentality of a distance runner. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in videos to come. I really appreciate all of you taking the time to watch my videos, and I'm really thankful for all of you guys. So thank you. See you guys later.